February 27th, 2017. You're listening to Shake and Razzle on episode 53 of this Prattlecast. And it looks like Mass Effect has finally gone gold. I'm so proud.
I don't know what that means.
That means, Shake, that the game, Mass Effect Andromeda, is finally at a state that the producers feel is worth selling at in a store. So there's no more updates. There's no more bug fixing. The game is essentially finished and will be shipped out on time.
Oh, that's what that means when a game goes gold?
Yeah.
I thought it meant it sold a lot of copies.
I think you're thinking of like platinum albums and shit.
Yeah, I might just be stupid. That's also probably an issue. I was watching a thing on Andromeda today.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, it's probably no new knowledge. It was about the combat system and how you can use like your what's the new machinery called? What is it? What's the new Mako? Is it called the Mako?
The Nomad.
The Nomad, yeah, there you go. I'm not impressed. So, but you can use that as cover now, and they want you to feel like you don't have to sit behind cover all the time like at the original trilogy, so they want you to be able to move around a lot and use your powers. And they were kind of showing that like in motion, and I was like, this looks really cool, like really interactive combat. And that's not what I'm used to in Mass Effect, because you're usually stuck behind cover or you'll die.
You know, I'm conflicted on the whole damn thing. I don't know. I'm always conflicted when it comes to this game.
I feel like you're just a conflicted person.
Well, I don't know. I think I have reasons to be conflicted. I mean, BioWare. I'm about to say Mass Effect, and then I went elsewhere. But BioWare
Mass Effect is a problem.
They haven't really released a great game since Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah, you didn't like 3 very much.
Oh, it's not about not liking it. It's just it wasn't a great game. It was a good game, but it wasn't a great game.
Yeah.
Before that, I mean, they were all these great games, you know? Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 1, KOTOR, Jade Empire, Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, great RPGs.
See, I think 3 is better than 1.
You're crazy.
You know what? Not the first time someone said that to me. Yeah, because like when I rate them, it's like I love the second one, then the third one, then the first one.
Okay, why would you put Part 3 over Part 1, just out of curiosity?
Because I don't feel like anything I did or said mattered in the first game, so...
The first game is really one of the few games where your choices do matter.
I didn't feel like they did.
You know what's so funny about Mass Effect is at the very end of the first game, you have more variation in endings than any other installment in the series. In fact, I think with the Part 3 probably had the fewest. I don't know, it was either Part 2 or Part 3, but Part 3's endings, should we even really go into that anymore? But Part 1's endings, Part 1's endings, you could go Paragon, you could go Renegade, you could go a mix. And choosing your counselor, or whoever's going to be the next, leader of whatever, their speech at the end is different depending on how you played the game. So you could have a Renegade Anderson, or a Paragon Anderson, or a Paragon Udina, or a Renegade Udina. You could have an all-human council, or you could have, the preserved council at the end. You had all these different types of variations in the end. You had more types of characters you would unlock. Like there are whole sections of the game most people probably never played, not because they didn't, go out of their way to do everything, but just because they happened to just miss that one thing. Like I remember stumbling upon the Terra Firma Party rally on the Citadel, and apparently not everybody stumbles upon this.
So wait, are you talking about the first game?
Yes, the first game.
Oh.
I mean, that first time you go out to the Citadel, it's huge, and it's just like this whole expansive universe has opened up to you, and you go out into the world, and you're just learning things, and you're taking in all this amazing lore for the very first time. Yeah.
I guess I didn't... I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I just didn't feel that way.
But see, Part 3, you don't even have that much choice. Part 3, I mean, you basically pick a dialogue option and then you watch a mini movie for 5 minutes and then finally they give you another option to say something. I felt like I had less control over what was happening in Part 3.
See, I felt like I had more.
I don't see how though. So
I don't
you're
know.
gonna have to explain it.
I don't know. I felt like the second and third game, like the second, I felt like I had the most choice. And then like with the third game, I still felt like I just had more freedom to do things in the game. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I'm not harping on part 2. I love part 2, but I mean, strictly speaking about part 1 versus part 3, I mean, the conversation system in part 1, in my opinion, gives you more control over what's happening because you actually choose how you respond to every single instance. Whereas Mass Effect 3, you're basically watching characters interact, and then you choose an option, and then you watch them interact, go back and forth. Because you're not really taking part in the conversation, you're just kind of directing the conversation to go a certain way every few minutes.
oh.
I mean, it's true, though. Like, you pick an option for Shepard. Shepard says something. Then the character he's talking to or she's talking to says something. Then Shepard says something back without your input. And it kind of goes back and forth for a second. And then finally you can say something again. To me, that whole thing felt like it was taking away that back and forth.
I guess that's true, but I guess that never really bothered me.
It bothered me.
I guess it
bothered me
didn't
a lot.
affect me so much when I played last time I played it. I mean, it's been a while. Who knows? I mean, I could magically feel different someday. But it never really bothered me. No.
And I also think that Mass Effect 2 had better combat. Like, going back, and I've been replaying them back and forth, like, Part 2 has these great mission sets where, you know, I mean, the worlds aren't really open. You're on rails to get from one point to the other, but it's so tightly wound and so perfectly put together that it's an actual narrative from one step to the other. Part 3 feels like you're kind of wrapping up here and there. You're going this place where you can meet this character who you already met in the other game to see how they're doing. And, you know, I mean, it's kind of like...
I agree with that.
You're ending a lot of things, but you're not really... I don't know. I mean, the new characters you get are interesting, but they're not as interesting as the ones in Part 2. And I don't know. Like, and also the Rachni, you know, they just bring them back regardless of what you chose to do with them in the first game. Like, if you got rid of them, they come back anyway. To me, Part 3 was just like, hey, you know what? Whatever choices you made, forget about it. You wanted Anderson to lead the council? Forget about it. Udina's there. Oh, you wanted an all-human council? Too bad. We're going to do this instead. No, I don't think Part 3 was in any way the great ending to the franchise at all.
Well, luckily I didn't say it was a great ending.
Oh, no, I know you did.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Part 1 versus Part 3 here.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't enjoy. I mean, I just played the first one again, and I hated it. I hated every moment of playing it.
It's dated.
I can't do it, and maybe I kind of missed out because I never played these games when they came out. I played it when it was all said and done, years after they were finished. So that could also be part of the problem that I have, is that I never got to play it when it was brand new and it was fresh out of the gate.
No, that is the problem. Like, yeah. I know that's what it is, because, you know, if you didn't play it when it came out, then yeah, that game doesn't feel as revolutionary as it actually was. Because before Mass Effect, I can't think of another game that was that cinematically put together. Like, I'm having trouble thinking of one. Whereas now,
not even Final Fantasy games.
I didn't play that stuff
because those are all cinematically well put together.
I mean, KOTOR was well put together. I'm talking about one that actually felt like you were kind of watching a movie. I mean, sure, we could go back to KOTOR or Jade Empire for these great
I'd say Mass
films,
Effect's more of like an it was an interactive movie.
I mean, I'm hesitant to say that only because of, you know, you have things like Until Dawn, or you have like all of those games that one
those
director,
are actually more interactive. Never mind.
Yeah, they're kind of like interactive films, those things, or the Telltale series. But Mass Effect, though, felt like a game where you were the star and director of a film, and no other game really came to that level that Mass Effect did. In fact, if you look around the day's world, lots of game developers borrow from what Mass Effect did, like the dialogue wheel. I mean, that appears in all kinds of games now.
Yeah, it's
like
everywhere
even
now.
The Lord of the Rings game we're playing now clearly took inspiration from what BioWare was doing.
Well, were they the first ones that did it?
The dialogue wheel?
Yeah.
Well, that was 2007 that Mass Effect came out, but before that, they of course had the older dialogue system, which seemed to borrow from adventure games like the ones that Cyberflix used to make, like Titanic Adventure Out of Time or Dust: A Tale of the Wild West. Those had these really well put together dialogue systems. In fact, that was the reason I first picked up KOTOR, was I saw a screen cap and it had the dialogue down at the bottom of the screen, just like those old adventure games used to have. And I thought, hey, this looks like a lot of fun.
That adventure wheel, that dialogue wheel excites me. I want to play this game.
Well, it wasn't a wheel. It was because like KOTOR and Jade Empire, it was just at the very bottom of the screen. You would have a choice of which dialogue option you'd want to pick, and then you would pick that. It wasn't until Mass Effect that the wheel was kind of invented, where you pick this thought and then you say something that's more expanded than what you actually selected. So yeah, they were very, I mean, BioWare back then, they were constantly breaking down walls and innovating. And if you look at The Witcher actually, the very first Witcher borrowed the Aurora system, which is what BioWare created way back in the day. So they took a lot of inspiration from what BioWare was doing. Whereas in today's world, I'd argue those developers, the Witcher guys, those guys are actually better than BioWare now. But there was a time when they didn't have funding or a lot of support, and actually BioWare shared their booth space with those guys. And I can't even remember their name. This developer, why can't I remember this? I'm gonna have to look this up because sometimes I just draw a blank.
Sometimes Razzle just he forgets things. He's going senile.
CD Projekt Red, those guys. Yeah, BioWare shared their booth space with those guys. So, you know, I mean, in today's world, CD Projekt Red is amazing. They're going to be making that cyberpunk RPG. It's been in development for years now, and maybe we'll finally hear something about that. So, yeah. I don't know how we got here, but we're here.
Didn't you say you had read something today about Mass Effect?
No, I've been reading stuff all week, like, because they had this huge preview build that they invited some people to go play. So I've been reading some thoughts and impressions people have had. Nothing with any major spoilers or anything like that, but just people's take on what the game is like right now. And I'm kind of, I kind of feel good about some things and nervous about other things, especially when one person kind of mentioned that it felt like Dragon Age in space, or Inquisition in space.
You were worried about that.
Well, I am worried about it, but I'm also hopeful that BioWare has learned the lessons of Inquisition and that their side quests are no longer fetch quests, because that's what Inquisition is. It's like these huge open areas where you basically go, okay, well, go collect 10 shards or go kill 20 of these people.
Is there any real reason to do it?
No, other than there really isn't any reason to do any of this stupid crap in Inquisition. And that's why that game feels so damn bland to me.
I like to have a reason for doing things like that somehow benefits the game in some way. Like, you know,
would think there would be.
Right.
But no, I mean, it feels sort of like those islands or ports you go to in like the Assassin's Creed games, the few ones that I played, where you go to these areas and you can collect music sheets. I'm thinking of the Black Flag game where you can collect music sheets to get different songs.
I haven't played that one, but it's probably much like the original game where you could collect feathers and stuff like that if you wanted to. You didn't have to, but you could do stuff like that to get extra stuff in the game. But it amounted to something if you did it.
Yeah, and there's like I think there were puzzles you could do, but they weren't really puzzles. It was like you would go up to this high point and you'd push this laser beam over to a rock. And I'm speaking of Inquisition again here. But just this stupid stuff you would do in each area that felt very repetitive and got very boring very fast. Having said all this, apparently you don't have to do all this stuff. Apparently what you could do is just leave and go back to the base and purchase points. That means – because you're basically doing all this crap for points that you can unlock later missions with. It's a very confusing, convoluted system, but it doesn't make any sense anyway. But to give you an idea, with Inquisition, you're playing the game. Eventually they leave you in something called the Hinterlands, and when you're there, they don't tell you what to do. So me, having played BioWare games before, I was thinking, oh, well, I guess this is the area where you have to look around for stuff in. And it was nothing but fetch quests and boring garbage. And I was in there for like 10 hours maybe, just doing all this nonsense.
And did you ever run out of stuff?
No, I never ran out of stuff. I finally figured out I could leave. And when I found out I could leave, I went back and went back to the main castle. There were to my opinion, there were way too many members to your team. It became a hassle running from one area in the court to the other to learn what Joe Blow has to say about the universe. I mean, the whole thing to me was I just felt completely distant, which was foreign for a BioWare game to me. But I mean, that was Inquisition. I don't want that in Mass Effect, and I'm hopeful because they said that they're taking more cues from The Witcher 3, which has amazing side quests.
So I've heard and seen a little bit of, but I don't allow myself to really watch it because I don't want that game ruined for me in any way.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Like, I couldn't get into Witcher 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of read the just quick notes on that.
Yeah,
because that's what everyone says is like they don't hold up as well, and you just just as long as you know who the characters are.
Yeah, I started with Witcher 3, so I haven't gotten very far in the game at all, but I can tell you that is a great game. Like, the side quests alone have been keeping me entertained. It's like you kind of just to give you an idea, I'm not going to tell you what any of them are, but to give you an idea of the way they kind of work, you might be kind of riding through town and you overhear a conversation, so you get off your horse and you go over there and you can like interact with the people and you learn something. You say, oh yeah, well I heard that old lady so-and-so might have a job. So you ride into town and you look for that person's house. You go to their house, you go inside, you sit down and have a chat with them about what they need doing. And, you might find out about some mysterious place that you need to go investigate. And so you go out there. But not only do you go out there, you have to prepare for stuff. So you actually have to spend time thinking about, okay, I need to get together some health potions. I need to make sure I've got some good weapons. Everything's updated here so that I don't get my ass handed to me. And to me, the combat, the way they integrate side quests into being story focused, it's just such an incredible game. And that's why I look forward to playing Cyberpunk 2077, which hopefully we'll hear something about, because the last time we heard anything about it was 2013. And they said that 2015, 2016 will be Witcher 3 stuff. And after that, who knows? Maybe some Cyberpunk 2077 news is in store for us this year.
Maybe it doesn't come out till 2077.
It might not.
And then that's it. Like, they're just playing a long game with this, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. Hype people up. But then all the original hypers will be dead by that point. Everyone's just gone. It's like, oh, I never got to see it. So what else were people saying? Anything
about BioWare.
Huh?
About the game?
Yeah.
They're saying... They said some good stuff, too. A lot of people were very pleased with the combat, which is good. Because I think that's what you're going to be doing most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, one guy who said that he usually plays Soldier 99% of the time said that he really had a lot of fun playing with adept powers, because they don't really have classes anymore, but, like biotics and stuff. Apparently, you're not really locked into anything. So you can like switch between different profiles whenever you want. You can change up what kind of skills you have on you at any time.
That's interesting.
To me, I don't know how I feel about that part yet. I mean, I kind of get it where you might want to play other things.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. I guess my whole thought is like, if you have a skill set that's your skill set, you can't be the master of everything.
Yeah, that's kind of how I wish it was, because with RPGs, part of the reward is picking the path you want to go and just sticking to it. And, sometimes there are strengths and weaknesses with each class.
As there should be. But that's what you built.
So fun.
Yeah, like you built this character and only you will have that exact skill set.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be... I don't know. Personally, like it's fine that it's open, but I would prefer that it was locked in, because then you're forced to deal with your decisions, and it's like, oh, this is who I decided to become. This is it. And you have to learn how to play.
There's no level cap, so you can level on forever.
Oh, okay.
Which makes me wonder how much grinding is going to be in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, because what's the point of being able to level infinitely?
BioWare says it's their biggest game to date, which I think means, for instance, they said that one planet, or some planets, are as big as the entirety of the landscapes from Inquisition.
Were those big?
Well, I mean, if you added all of them together, yeah, that's pretty big. But however, you are traveling in a vehicle in Mass Effect, and they mentioned that and how that does cut back on the time between where you're going. One thing Inquisition did really well, and I'll give them props for this, is there weren't any loading screens. And what I mean by that is whenever you went to an area, if there were caves in there, like if there were caves in areas, you know how some games you go up to the cave door and then it loads you into the cave?
You're like frozen for a second or something, yeah.
Whereas in Inquisition, it was seamless. So you'd be walking into the cave and the lighting is kind of changing around you and you'll take out your torch and you're just proceeding right into the cave, which was cool. And I assume Mass Effect will probably be very similar in that regard. I know they said there were no loading screens on the ship when they were walking around. And one thing they thought was interesting was as you're walking around, some of your teammates will talk to each other through the intercom system. So it always feels like your ship is kind of alive, you know, like people are doing things. That's
cool. I
don't know if this is true or not, but I heard some people said that some of the crew members will walk around the ship, so they might be in different areas at different times.
I could see that being a thing. That'd be interesting.
Something people said was that there is a lot of flirting. Like you can flirt with a lot of people, which makes me a little worried.
Someone's going to be a whore in Andromeda, I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't know. I think back to even as far back as KOTOR. You know, there's some romance plots you can undertake. I remember when I first stumbled upon one, being completely surprised by it because I'd never seen that in a video game. I'd never seen
You've never seen
two
romance?
Characters, not in a video game.
Right.
And it was just weird because it was like November of 2003, and so at that point I'd never really played a game like that before, where several hours into it, suddenly this character is suddenly kind of flirting with you a little bit, and then you have the option to flirt back, and it was very
so it wasn't instant, like it's kind of as your relationship unfolded.
Yeah, it was gradual. It was, and
see that I'm about.
I prefer that type of storytelling.
That's how it should be.
Now, if people can just start flirting with each other, because I know they said some relationships are like one night stands and shit, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I get what they're going with because you can, I guess, be Captain Kirk and.
Well, and I guess there would be some characters that would just instantly jump to flirting because there's people like that everywhere. But to have everybody or like a lot of people be available for that all the time, that seems a little.
And apparently some characters will be turned off if you're flirting with everybody.
Good, as they should be.
You know what? I hope that you can flirt with the Krogan. That's what I hope. That's my personal hope.
Yeah, I really... I want it so bad.
Some characters will be locked off based on sexuality of the player character, which is something that I often speak out against. I think that's kind of stupid, especially if you're going to be this. I think if this game has become this video gamey at this point, why not have everybody player sexual like in Dragon Age 2? I just don't see why not. I mean, if you're going to go this video gamey with Mass Effect Andromeda, you might as well go there too, but it's just not a very popular opinion, I guess. Nonetheless, you know, the people who played said they played the very beginning of the game and then they jumped ahead to another mission. So they played the first mission and then they jump ahead to later on in the game to play another mission.
Oh, so they're basically testing just 2 instances of it.
Yeah, they got a good preview about how the game begins.
Okay.
And then they did the first mission, and then they jump ahead a little further on into the story, and they do this other mission.
They probably know what happens to Dad.
I don't know if they do or not. Nobody spoke about that. Nobody was talking spoilers.
They're polite then. Good for them.
They did talk about how it began, but other than that, they didn't really say anything about story stuff. Some people seem to kind of be okay with the new dialogue system.
Nobody's hyped though about it, or people just.
No, I think some people are,
Okay.
and some people aren't. It's kind of it's going to be what it is. I mean, you're changing an older system, so I don't think anybody was disappointed with it. I think the most negative thing I heard about it was that people would just need more time to see how it plays out. Because if I understand correctly, you can basically choose between being sort of a professional character and an overly emotional character that basically responds to things based on how you feel.
Oh, that's gonna be me. Hello, first playthrough. Here we go. First playthrough is gonna be all me, and I'm an emotional mess. Second playthrough is gonna be so different.
I think I heard this, and I don't know if this was true or not, but I heard through the grapevine that if you choose to play a character that's very emotional about things and like usually makes decisions based on emotion, that you won't have certain options later on to be more professional whenever some things get really hairy. Now, again, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know, because who the fuck does know at this point?
Nobody has a damn clue right now.
One of the developers tweeted out that there will be nudity in the game, not partial nudity, but nudity, and the internet has gone crazy.
So I'm going to see some business? Because if they just mean I'm seeing boobs, that's not nudity.
Well, I think that would be partial nudity.
Are boobs considered partial nudity, or is it like side boob and
maybe
butts?
Side boob would be, yeah, I think that and butts
like
would
side
probably
boob
be
and
partial.
Butts.
Yeah.
So, like, are we seeing junk?
I don't know.
Am I going to know what Turian and Krogan look like now?
Well, I don't know if there are any Turian men.
God damn it, I'll find one. There's a whole ship of them somewhere. And then there's the Krogan. Oh my god. You never see any of them out of their suits.
We don't even know if you can romance the Krogan yet. Because he's supposed to be super old, so I don't know if they wrote him to be not a romanceable character.
You know what, though? He's super old. He needs it.
See, that's the only character I would want to romance out of all the ones they've revealed. I'm like, yep.
I love him.
Give me the Krogan.
I'm like, look at him, look at that look at that. He's got like that little, like spiky little goatee going on. I don't know what it is. It's like just old age. And I'm just like, look at that Krogan. This is cute. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to bring him everywhere. I already know he's going to be my friend. Unless, his character doesn't play out the way I imagine him. I still don't really know them yet, but I'm excited.
We don't know anybody.
Yeah, I just read like a profile, so I'm like, yeah, I like that guy.
Some people mentioned about Cora and how you can be professional with her or not, because I don't really know how it's going to play out in the story, because you would assume she's second in command. Why isn't she taking over? But she doesn't take over. Your character is becoming the Pathfinder. So I imagine there'll probably be some tension there, and you can choose how to play that out with her.
Sexual or otherwise. I don't know. She's not a character I have any interest in.
I think I'm going to be really mean to her.
I have a feeling I'm just going to hate her because I just see her and her face and her haircut, and I'm like, fucking Cora. I already have, like, negative feelings, and for the first time, I don't have negative feelings towards an Asari. I'm actually
happy about that.
I'm digging PB. Well, I've noticed in my current playthrough, there's a couple of Asari I've met that I've really liked, but they're usually, I've noticed every single time they end up being, like, the three that I've liked have always had, like, Krogan fathers. Or something like of that nature. Like, they're a little bit more brutish and realistic and not so fucking strange about everything. And they're I don't know, they're just real. And they're all, like, Krogan. But PB actually seems like an interesting character. And I'm wondering is she a pureblood? Or, like, what is she mixed with?
I don't know. I haven't read much about her.
Yeah.
She and the Krogan are the two that I'm most interested in having as squad mates, because I've looked at the other ones. Liam seems a little too happy.
Yeah,
I'm not interested
in Liam.
Cora seems too much like someone who hangs out a little too much at the Starbucks. And
she's like Kate +8 in my mind. That's all I picture.
And I've never been a huge fan of Turians. So I don't really know how I'm going to get along with the new Turian. I think Garrus was the one exception to that, but that's only because, it's Garrus, so...
He was an exception to how most Turians are, though. He even states a couple times, he's like, I'm a bad Turian. He's like, Turians do what they're told, and they're kind of bred to be soldiers that don't give a shit. they just follow by the law or by some mercenary code. And he's like, yeah, I'm not a good Turian. I just, no, I'm not good. But, I mean, I'm really excited about the female Turian because I have never seen one before.
Well, apparently there was one in one of the DLCs to Mass Effect 3.
Oh?
And I forgot all about her. But yeah, there is. In one of the DLC packs, you'll meet a female Turian.
Oh,
that is true.
I gotta get that pack then so I can see one. I love them. I think they're like the coolest. I think they're the coolest next to Krogans. Like,
I remember being super mean to the Turian counselor, and I loved it because I did not like Turians. You had like a Saren who was the big bad guy.
Saren was a dick, and the guy on the council was a douchebag too.
Like, I didn't like any of them. I was always kind of mean to them. I was even mean to Garrus until I got to know Garrus. So
because you were like, I assume you're an asshole, so I'm just gonna treat you as such.
But it was weird. Like, every time I was trying to be mean to him, it was like he would agree with me.
You'd just be like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. Sorry.
And then it was kind of fun. Like in part 2, you have that option to bring Garrus with you through the area where the Turians are all getting sick. And like right before you go in there, he's like, this is, Turians are getting sick in here, Shepard. And you're like, yeah, but this mission's important. So he's like, well, I guess a cold won't hurt me too much.
Yeah, I remember that because I told him like I had to go in, but I swapped him out. I brought all people in there with me.
Yeah, if you bring him with you, he'll start coughing and shit. But when you get him to Morden, he'll be okay.
Yeah, because I at the time. Because of this playthrough, I've been rotating through everybody, kind of getting a feel for everyone, and I like to see how Joker analyzes all of them. So I had him and Rex with me there, and then I walked over there forgetting what that mission was about, and I was like, oh, neither of you can come with me. I will not risk your lives. Give me the people. I can't let you go. Nope. I need those two Cerberus douchebags.
You could always bring Zaid.
Oh yeah, I believe I did bring him. I've brought Zaid on a lot of missions. Like, I dig him so much more now. Like, I always go and check in on him on the ship because he has all these stories to tell you. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I didn't like that they didn't really give you a dialogue one-on-one with him. He's just kind of sitting there telling you quips.
I know,
telling
and
you little stories.
I kept going back for them though. Like, I still do because I still have them. But I just like him. But the DLC characters, they don't give you anything.
No, they didn't. I guess because they were just added after the fact. So there wasn't. I'm thinking it's because. I don't know why it was. I'm not even going to guess. Like
Kasumi, I didn't really care.
Because in part 3, they give you a DLC character as well, and that character you actually can have a story with, and they interact with other characters, and they take part in story parts. So
who's the DLC character?
I can't remember his name, but you should definitely pick him up.
Because I wonder if I got it or not.
Maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
Because I think in the second game is where I pick up Legion.
Yeah?
That's not a DLC character.
No.
He's game.
Only
okay.
Kasumi and Zaid were the only DLC characters that I'm aware of in that game.
Okay. I'm not sure if I got any in the third.
I think my favorite ME2, Mass Effect 2 Squadmate, that I picked up. Now, I'm not talking about story-wise, but just to have on my team was probably Jack. Like, it was always great to have another great biotic.
Yeah,
by your
she's
side.
crazy when she's out on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's as nutty as them. See, I found that it was an interesting setup when I have her and Tali together. Tali's, like, sending out robots everywhere, and Jack's just losing her mind around the field, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is good. We're kind of going biotic crazy, but this is good. And it's been a lot of fun.
And my very first playthrough, Tali was the only one who did not survive.
What?
Yeah, she
Why
did not
didn't
make
she?
it.
Did you just not have enough stuff done on your ship?
I think the problem was because there's this one point where you have to choose between her and Legion. And I was forced to choose one, so I chose Legion. I was like, I'm back in Legion here. And I sent her on a mission during the final mission, and I think because I backed Legion, she died. But
isn't there a way to save everybody?
Yeah, there is. I think if I hadn't sent her on a mission, then she would have survived. I think probably, possibly. But yeah, I mean, you basically have to make sure everybody's up to 100, and that you resolve the issues between the two characters who fight. Because there's that one.
Loyalty missions and shit.
I think Miranda has a fight with somebody, and you have to side with someone.
She does. Her and Jack.
Okay. So, there's another one.
She gets angry about us giving Jack access to files. And she's like, well, you can't do that. And I told her, I was like, well, I'm doing it. She has a right to know. So, fuck you, Cerberus. I've been very anti-Cerberus this playthrough. Super, against them. I've been, respectful to Miranda. I found that I can't stand Jacob on almost any level. He's really annoying, and no matter what I do, Shepard is automatically ready to sleep with him the moment she starts talking to him.
Yeah, a lot of people bring that up, that the female Shepard is really into Jacob.
Oh, God, she's bad. I mean, Kasumi's bad, too. She writes poetry about how beautiful he is. But, Shepard's always like, hey, do you have time to talk? And I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. I just want to do his missions. Why are you doing this, Shepard? No.
But the prize.
And then Jacob's like, listen, I'm not really one for these talks all the time, Shepard. And I'm like, please push me away, Jacob. Don't fall in love with me. I'm a mess. Please. Please. It was so bad. Oh, every time. Oh, it makes me sick thinking about it.
I have a feeling, though, I'll have different opinions on these squad mates once I get to meet them in Andromeda.
I think we all will.
Yeah, Liam, I might actually end up liking him. But for right now, just looking at what they've revealed so far, I'm like, too much of an optimist.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan to play kind of a character who is sort of a fish out of water. So, I don't like playing characters making all the right decisions. I like to play them a little bit more complicated than that so that they have some type of inherent flaws in their personality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made Shepard so fun for me, was I could play him as a total... he was a complete and total military, doing what he's told for the greater good and being all pro-humanity and shit, and then completely loving the elusive man and thinking he was the God's gift to the galaxy.
Oh my God.
Right up until the final one, and they shoehorned it so that you can't play that Shepard anymore. So, thanks Mass Effect 3 for taking away more options. But, whatever.
Yeah, my character was fine with the elusive man until he lied.
Yeah, I remember that.
Until he set me up, and then I was just like, nah, bitch, don't lie to me again, or I'm going to kill you.
Of course, my character liked Udina, too, so...
Yeah, my character, is kind of impartial. My character's like, oh yeah, he's just doing what he has to do, even if sometimes he gives off the wrong tone. He's doing the right thing. So, my character's not against him, she just wishes he could communicate better. That's all.
But apparently there's only one more video to go in the Andromeda initiative before the game launches, and apparently you get some helmet or something. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, it's a helmet.
Oh, and apparently whenever you're picking your character, I heard that they have more than just the models that they have right now, so there might be other models you can choose from whenever you're designing your character.
Well, I like the original models.
They did some face scans, because I know a lot of people are upset about Sarah Ryder.
Oh, Sarah. But her brother is pretty. We can keep that one. Once I play the male Ryder, I'm leaving him. I'm going in just that.
Just leaving him.
Yeah, I might change his hair color, but that's it.
Could change it. Oh, okay.
And his eyes. That's it. Just his eye color and hair color, and then I can leave him the way he is. He's fine. Perfect the way he is. It's fine.
So, have you looked at this Oscars thing that happened yesterday, or do you just not care?
I almost was going to bring it up. Because there's a couple things that happened at the Oscars that pissed me off.
All right, why don't you go ahead and hit us with some.
Okay, so I haven't seen La La Land yet, but it's a Ryan Gosling movie, so I might be biased. I really want to see it. It's a musical. It's all dancing and singing, and we don't really have a lot of those anymore. It's won a bunch of awards already, and then it gets called up as it was called up by mistake.
Yeah.
I don't remember for what. I think Best Picture of the Year.
Yeah, it was Best Picture.
They're halfway through an acceptance speech, and they're like, "Oh, never. Moonlight is Best Picture of the Year. Moonlight. Shit. And I at that point, like I just wouldn't have said anything. I would have just let La La Land take it, because that is so fucking embarrassing to be that person. To be like, hey, I hate to interrupt your speech, but you didn't win. Shit, I'm sorry. Somebody else won. My bad. And I haven't seen either of these.
I think someone in the back definitely fucked up. There's no doubt about that. But like when you go back and you watch it, it was Faye Dunaway. Is that the right? Am I saying that right? Anyway, it was her and Warren Beatty were up there, and Warren Beatty had the envelope with him. Apparently, the envelope that he was either given or he took from the place where he was supposed to, or whatever. And for whatever reason, the envelope in his hand was not the envelope that he was supposed to have. So there's a bit of a confusing story there as to how this envelope ended up in his hand. So he's about to open it up to look at the winner. He opens up the envelope. He looks at it, and if you look at him, you can see that he can tell right away there's something wrong. And he's taking this long pause, and he looks at is it Faye Dunaway? Is that who was with him?
I don't know.
Hold on. I guess I should look it up. I think it was her. Okay, so he looks at her and kind of gives her the envelope, I think in his mind so that she could see that it was the wrong one, but she immediately looks at it and just says the fucking movie on there, even though it's very clear if you look at this envelope that it's for the best actress or whatever, because it says the actress's name and then the movie right after it.
Yeah.
And this is for Best Picture. So that should tell you there's something wrong with his envelope. Warren Beatty can tell there's something wrong with it, but she just goes right ahead and fucking reads the title of the movie. And so obviously these people come up to accept the award, and they're going through 2 or 3 speeches, and these people start coming up on stage like, there's a problem here. This is not the movie that was supposed to win. And they realize right away what the problem was. So they bring up the real envelope, and the guy reads it. I think he was involved in La La Land. I don't know what this guy's involvement with.
Yeah, it was the director.
Okay, well, it was the director of La La Land, and he graciously hands over the Oscar to the people who did Moonlight, and that was that. I mean, it was a flub. It was really screwed up that that it happened on that grand of a stage. But I think everybody handled it well for the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ryan Gosling was actually back there laughing about it on the stage.
He doesn't care about anything. See, I love him because it doesn't matter to him. Like, yeah, it's great to get awards, but he doesn't care about them. So he's happy to see anybody win. So to find out that it was a mistake, if anything, that's just going to humor him and be like, oh, such is life.
He's like, this is pretty screwed up.
Yeah, he's like, good job, Oscars. Proud of you. You fucked up. But I thought there was another pretty big flub. And I'll actually I have pictures of it. So I'm going to have to put it on the Twitter. Suicide Squad won an Oscar.
Oh, yeah?
Which is an issue in itself. Because Suicide Squad is trash. And yes, you can disagree, you can have an opinion, but that's mine, and I'm telling you it's trash. And it's horrible. You took the DC universe and you took a shit on it. And I didn't appreciate it. But they won an Oscar for Best Makeup, with a highlight on Harley Quinn. Okay. Now, if I can win Best Makeup by putting clown face paint on and then just rubbing a towel on it, that's a travesty. Because there is I don't even know what movie it was for, but I was looking at all the pictures of the other ones, and it was like this big alien headdress that was made on somebody for some movie that came out this year, and it was like all done up, and it was just on a person. It's not like CGI or anything, and it took them hours to make. And you're letting Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad makeup that could take a normal person 20 seconds over like a project that takes hours. You're letting Suicide Squad win for best makeup when there are others that are more deserving. And I know I can't explain it well right now, but I'm going to put a picture up because it's disgusting that they won it. Because it doesn't make sense, because there was so many more talented makeup artists out there and that should have gotten it, and I just thought it was a stupid call. It was stupid.
That isn't what I thought you were going to talk about.
I have one other thing.
Okay, I hope this is the one that I think it is.
How has Harry Potter never won a fucking Oscar?
That wasn't what I thought, but it's an interesting question.
They won their first Oscar this year with the Fantastic Beast movie, and they've never won one before. They've been nominated every time. They've never won an Oscar until now, until the original Harry Potter series is over.
I think the first one or the second one could have easily won an Oscar, but after that, I think I don't know. I mean, it depends on. You have to think back on whatever won Best Oscar or Best Picture for those years too, or Best Actor or Best Actress or whatever. You know, you have to look at whatever was nominated and then look at who won and then compare the two and be like, you know what, I can see why this was better than this.
I guess. I just thought it was weird. I was like, wow, Harry Potter's never won an Oscar. But
now, granted, I don't know what won those years, so it could be a terrible movie, and it's a valid question of why didn't Harry Potter win that year. But I don't know what they were nominated for. I don't really know much about any of that. I think the Oscars are kind of dumb, but I admit that's just me.
But no, that's all. Those are the only things. What did you?
Yeah, well, I heard that they did this thing where they were showing off images of people who have died over the last year, and they put up a picture of a woman who is still alive. Did this happen? Hold on one second.
Because I know they always do the in memoriam thing, like to celebrate the lives of those who have passed.
Yeah, here it is.
Who the fuck did they throw in
the in memoriam video apparently features a woman who's still alive.
The bitch doesn't realize she's dead yet, is the problem.
All right.
That's gotta be jarring.
Here it is. Okay, it was trying to honor Janet Patterson, who is was an Australian costume designer and 4-time Oscar nominee who passed away in October 2016. The name and occupation were correct, but the photo they used was a photo of Jan Chapman, who is still very much alive and is an Australian film producer.
That is upsetting. So, imagine how jarring that was for her to see.
Imagine how jarring it is for like the family of the person who died, that the Oscars don't even care enough to make sure they've got the right image of the person. Can you imagine that?
They
like having
dropped the ball this year.
Love and seeing the picture of somebody else, like seeing a picture of Richard Dreyfuss up there.
Richard Dreyfuss. That's not Janet. That doesn't look like Janet at all. And then Richard Dreyfuss. It's just like, what the fuck am I doing up there?
It's like suddenly just a picture of John Candy up there. It's like, okay, well, John Candy did. John
Candy just passed away. And it's like, what?
That was quite a long time ago.
It's like, are we just processing it now? Was it too soon before this year? Was it too soon?
And then the final thing about the Oscars, and I love talking about this topic, but Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Did you see this? The Nicole Kidman clap? The way Nicole Kidman claps her hands. I think that she's... Okay, well, you need to go ahead and look up the image.
We'll have to. We'll put this on the Twitter too. You guys will just see a picture of Nicole Kidman and not know what it is till later.
I don't know. To me, it looks like someone who was as talented as Nicole Kidman attempting to act like someone who was clapping. So I am not surprised by what I saw.
With Nicole Kidman and all of her talent,
very talented actress. So talented.
Her clapping is something to be marveled at. I'm curious to see it now. I'm excited now. This needs to end so we can look at Nicole Kidman clapping. But yeah, I haven't watched the Oscars in years. I used to watch that stuff.
I used to watch it too, but I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't have the energy.
People were all upset about all these gaffes and everything, and I think the only one to truly be upset about was probably the dead person not being the dead person. That's a jarring experience. Someone trying to honor someone you know and love, and seeing a picture of somebody who is not that person next to their name.
And then that alive person also sees their picture up where a dead person should be. It's bad for everybody.
You work your life as a costume designer, and then one day you're finally honored, and somebody else's picture's up there.
You're just like, well, they obviously didn't care about me. Good job, Oscars.
With the exception of that one, I think that the other gaffes, you know what? I don't feel bad about any of them. These are all rich motherfuckers. They'll get over it. I just don't care. I'm really sorry that La La Land thought they won Best Picture, and there are a lot of people up there who are probably very heartbroken about, the big high and then the big low. But at the end of the day, all these people are of a hell of a lot more rich than I am, and I'm pretty sure they don't have,
And you know what? At the end of the day, though, it's just a fucking award.
Exactly. It's
a completely useless trophy to just leave in your home.
It does increase people's pay. It does. It has an effect on how much they make, but because of that also, I'm also kind of like, I just don't care. I don't care if you're making $1 million or $2 million.
Already make a lot of money. How dare you?
I'm like, yeah, it's like what a shame. Clearly, the people who made Moonlight, and I haven't seen any of these movies.
Neither have I. I used to be up with this, but I'm not anymore.
They clearly made a beautiful film that was selected to win, and I'm sure they're all excited and such that they did win. But you also have to figure that they probably feel just as bad because now it's kind of almost tarnished for them, where somebody else went up and got the award, and then they were called up afterward to come. It's just like if I was called up to take an award from somebody who thought they won, I would be so embarrassed for that other person.
I'd be embarrassed for myself just because I'm shitty. I'd be like, oh my god, I don't want to take this from you. I feel like an asshole. Ouch. Sorry. It's mine, though. Ugh.
But I figured everybody handled it with class, so you know what? Everybody can get over it. I just don't see it as a big deal. I don't. I'm really sorry that a bunch of rich people, thought they won an award that could have gone on their trophy list shelf.
On my wall of trophies.
I'll just go back to living my ordinary day-to-day life, trying to pay my bills and shit. So
just rewarding myself with a sandwich every now and again. That's my Oscar.
So that's my thoughts on the Oscars.
Yeah, that's about as deep as we can go with the Oscars since we didn't watch them.
Yeah, I know. I don't watch it. I don't really give a shit.
I'm gonna have to
I think it's funny.
Those things now. I gotta post funny. Nicole Kidman's clapping and the wrong choice for best makeup. I have to post those because it is disgusting. And it made me so upset to see it. I saw it all over my Twitter. And then on Facebook. I wasn't pleased. But I'm not going to mention. I'll mention that next week. I don't want to mention it now. Maybe I should.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's I was so you've been really excited for that Horizon Zero Dawn game.
Yeah, I am.
I never cared. Never looked into it, never looked it up, nothing, and I watched it today.
Oh, now you're interested.
Some people got it early or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I really fucking want that game.
Yeah.
It's been like there's not many games I really want anymore. Like I really want Andromeda, obviously. I really want Friday the 13th. I want this game like I'm buying it. 'Cause watching it, like, yeah, I had some like opener game stuff spoiled for me, but that's fine. Because I watched
don't spoil me. I'm probably gonna go pick this shit up tomorrow. So
yeah, I watched like the first hour of the game, and it looked so good, and it looked really fun. I don't think it's a perfect game, but it looks like a really good time, and it's really pretty to look at. And I thought like it was really interesting. Like I wasn't expecting machines, and I was just like, whoa. I thought these were all like tribal people, but there's like animal machine things. Like the creatures are machines.
You didn't even know that? Oh my god.
Listen, if I don't care, I really don't care. I'm just telling you, if I don't care, I'll make every effort not to know anything. I just thought it was really cool. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And like the gameplay looks really fun, but I just wanted to say that I'm interested, Razzle. I'm gonna get it.
Fair enough.
Probably not gonna touch it till after Andromeda, but
I don't know. I'll probably play it a little bit until Andromeda gets here. Then I'll switch to Andromeda and plow through that game. And I hope I love Andromeda because, I'm going to be talking about it. I know you're going to be talking about it. We're going to have a whole podcast devoted to it.
There's going to be a lot of Andromeda talk here, so prepare yourselves. Play it when it comes out because we're going to, the week after it's out, we're either shitting all over it or loving it.
So I've got to go back to lowering my expectations. I have to remember that this is not BioWare from 2010, that this is modern day BioWare, and they cannot meet my expectations for them anymore, and that is okay. I just have to come to terms with that. Yep. And I will.
It's okay. Should I We didn't talk about this before we did this. Should we let the listeners know now or later?
We can tell them later.
Later? Okay.
We'll tell them later.
We're keeping secrets.
See,
but,
now it's like we're keeping some kind of a secret.
It's not a secret. It's a surprise.
Okay, well, we got a surprise coming later that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, but to let you guys know, it's why this is going to be a little bit shorter.
Have you heard about what Twitch is doing?
Jesus, I was wrapping up. Yes, I've heard.
Well, I didn't know we were wrapping up. Why are we wrapping up?
Because we're at an hour.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll hit this real fast.
Well,
and then
yeah,
we'll
hit
it.
it. Anyway, let me just finish my thought before you go into that. But anyway,
Okay.
Because of our surprise that we will be revealing shortly, we still got some things to work out first. The podcast will be kind of dropped down to around an hour, which I think is better overall. Anyway, it's going to be a bit more manageable for you guys and us. But we've got something else in the works. I hope at least some of you like it. If not, whatever. Just stick to this. That's fine. But we've got it coming.
So cryptic.
Yeah, it's like whatever. You'll either like it or you'll
talk about
just
it when we can actually
be
say
here.
something.
I like surprises. Let me have
This is so
this.
cryptic.
I like cryptic.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got something coming up. So these are going to be shorter by just about 30 minutes. In case you're wondering why.
About 20 minutes, but yeah.
Half an hour.
I mean, we still got another 5 minutes or so to touch in on this because
I
we
don't
started
want
about
to,
5
but
minutes
let's
into
do it.
But yeah, okay, Twitch. Let's go ahead and hit it. Twitch is now launching their own gaming platform to try and compete with the likes of Steam and GOG and Uplay and Origin because I guess we just don't have enough digital
They're not
suppliers
competing
of
with
games.
Uplay. They're partnering with Uplay.
Oh, they're partnering with Uplay. You know,
Yes.
that actually makes sense. Uplay is so freaking stupid. You know, I actually don't even have a problem with what this is. Here's the problem, actually. Okay, so the new Twitch, you can start watching a game, and then you can buy the game directly from the Twitch profile you're on, and if you do it, 5% of the proceeds go to the Twitch broadcaster, which thus makes me wonder, does the Twitch broadcaster now oversell the game a little bit? Maybe mislead you a little bit?
Well, they do that anyway.
Well, I know some of them do this anyway, and that's fine, but I think now there's an incentive for them to be a little less honest about the games they're playing. Now they might be like, hey, you know what? This game right here is so amazing. And you buy the game, it's actually a piece of garbage, and they were highlighting the one part of the game that's actually decent.
You know what, though? I don't think they would do that because then their viewers are going to find out. And then they're going to realize that streamer is full of shit. Even though the streamers that do it, everybody already knows they're full of shit. Like, you already know who those streamers are. So,
I guess.
I don't think... I mean, there's the ones that will always do it just because they're shitty and they're big. They're big streamers and they get stuff early and they act dumb about it. But...
Is this thing going to take off, though? That's the big question, because my whole thing on this is, for me, I like having everything in certain places, okay? I like having a lot of Steam games in my Steam library. The only reason I have Origin is because it has exclusive Origin games, and that's the key word. The only reason I have Uplay, exclusive Uplay betas and shit, you know? That's the only reason I have those two platforms. I also have GOG,
I don't know
which
what that
stands
is.
for... It stands for Good Old Games. I think CD Projekt Red had something to do with bringing it out. Basically, they have a lot of games that Steam doesn't, like really older games, games from back when I was young, and so that's why I have the account.
So it still has a place. That definitely still has a place to be.
It has its own place. I bought several games from them, and what's so great about that is you also get access to like the old manuals and stuff through the digital, whereas Steam doesn't always give you that. So Good Old Games is actually a pretty cool site. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out and send them a little bit of love because they are pretty damn cool. But Twitch getting into this, I mean, the
launcher's been there for a while.
I know, and I get what they're doing now because they want you to get more free games. And so, yeah, I might have it, but I'm only going to use it for free games just like I do Origin. I've never once bought a game off Origin except for The Sims 4. That's it. That's the only game I've ever bought off Origin because I can't get it anywhere else.
Well, I mean, the only way you could ever get me to, like, sit in a stream and watch a game and then buy it from that is if, like, I could get sales like I get on Amazon. Like, am I getting it on a sale? Because I buy most of my games, like, unless it's, like something on Steam that's on sale. Like, if I'll look between Steam and Amazon, and if Amazon's got a sale, fuck it, I'm buying it. Like,
yeah, I only buy things when they're discounted too.
Yeah, when I do it through Twitch, how does that work?
In fact,
Like, is it going to be like a marketplace?
If I see something decent on Twitch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look it up on Steam first and see what the price is, put it on my wish list, and then wait for a sale. That's how I would do it. But to each their own.
Yeah, that's what I'd wait till it goes, because at some point, every game you want will go 75% off.
Yes, it will.
It'll do it within a year that you've put it on your wish list. So just
unless it's a console game like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a PS4 exclusive, in which case you just have to wait for a PS4 sale or an Amazon sale. Other than that,
or go to a gaming specialty store or a comic book store where people return games and you can get them again real cheap. A lot of places still do that. So if you have any local places, check those out before you check out GameStop and all that shit. Do that.
So who knows? We'll see what happens with this new Twitch game service, however the hell you call it.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know why. Like, I don't care really. I'm just like, oh, okay, good for you.
I think this is mostly Amazon wanting to do it because Amazon wants to get its hands in everything, and they're usually pretty good about that. Like they with this Prime service they have, you get the books, you can get movies, you can get TV shows.
Yeah, but I just thought about it. Since Amazon has them, I wonder if you just click it, if it brings you to like an Amazon referral page for that broadcaster.
That might be what it is. I don't know.
So then you're still getting it through Amazon, which in that case, I'd do it.
But I think you get it through the launcher, which I guess is run by Amazon. I don't know any of this stuff. Okay, Amazon owns Twitch, so make of it what you will.
We'll figure it out.
And here's another question. Will Steam come up with a way to counteract this? Will Steam start getting into the streaming business in the way that YouTube did?
Well, they already have it.
Yeah, but they haven't really pushed it. And I think if you're starting to encroach on Steam's territory, I don't think Steam is going to feel threatened because Steam is never threatened by anyone. They're not threatened by the Oculus Store. They're not threatened by good old games. They're not threatened by Uplay, which you can get most of those games on Steam anyway. They're not threatened by Origin. I don't think they're going to be threatened by Twitch. You would have to see a huge surge in turnover rates to worry Steam. So I think Steam will be fine.
Like, you'd have to have a lot of people, like, just fucking leaving Steam, which is just not going to happen.
And you also don't know about, like, how the multiplayer functions are with this new launcher. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I'm going to stick with what I know.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I'm old school. Just sticking to my roots.
But hey, you know what? Maybe people out there will think it's the greatest thing ever and they'll give it a shot. But those are my thoughts. And that's about it.
I guess that's all the thoughts we have for today.
I guess so.
That's it for us. You can email us at theprattlecast@gmail.com. Leave us a message on speakpipe.com/theprattlecast. Every episode is uploaded to YouTube. We also have a Twitter account, which is @theprattlecast. We will be posting Nicole Kidman and some makeup stuff because I just need to. Our personal Twitters are @ShigzillaTV and @Razzle_Dazzles. We stream together every week on Twitch between 5 and 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. This week we'll be streaming on Saturday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, doing some Lord of the Rings War in the North. Maybe we'll finish it. It seem like we're at the halfway mark. We also have a Patreon page where you can donate as little as $1 to get perks, and you can get some bonus stuff for the streams and podcast, and it helps us out immensely. Am I missing anything? No, I'm not. So, until next time, be nice to each other.